Hello, guys, and welcome back to Joe's Ventures. And today we're doing another episode of, because it's another month, we're doing another Dev Diary. So this one's for June 2026. They even admit in this one it's going to be a short one because the big focus of this month was getting the combat update up and running, and they have just released it a couple days ago, and everyone seems to be really liking it, and they're really enjoying the feedback. So I'm really happy to hear about that. So they're going to go over some stuff they're going to be working on, in the next interim, and then they'll probably in the next couple dev diaries they'll go into what's going to happen with the next updates, and then with the history because we're nearly at the finish line. We're really close to the first, the early access ending and the full release of Prehistoric Kingdom coming out, and thinking about it and they'll go into a little bit more. This is really the only game from that era that really kind of held on and managed to make it. Because if you think about it, you had Saurian, Project Chronosaurus, and you've had a lot of games since then, like the Isle. The Isle's still in early access, and that game's been around for 10 years. Beasts of Bermuda, all these games that have kind of come out since then, and they've all kind of had their own sordid stories and histories and stuff like that. But Prehistoric Kingdom kind of knuckled down. They got a publisher, which really helped, and they've actually managed to really create something cool. And the only one that's really made it from that era is some Saurian, and some other games are being worked on still. And obviously, the Isle is still very popular, but it's the only game from that era that really made it to, pretty much made it to this point. And I've got to say, that's a testament to the devs and what they've been doing and how they've conducted themselves and what they're doing. So I've got to give a big props to you guys, like Mal and all you guys. Mal, Cindy, Nathan, and all that lovely group, And Nano, you've all done a really great job. I just had to say that before we get stuck into it. Because I'm reminiscing quite a bit, because I remember I was right at the beginning. I remember when there were the forms, and it was this Jurassic Genetics, so it makes me incredibly nostalgic and incredibly proud that, this is a project that I've been supporting, and it's actually really starting to become something really amazing, so... that's enough sappy stuff for the moment. We're going to carry on with the Dev Diary. So, Dev Diary, June 2026. So that's a June 30th. So, welcome to the June Development Diary. This month we released Update 17, a massive update including 3 new genera, which was the Allosaurus, the Stegosaurus, and the Pachycephalosaurus. And also dynamic combat and a wealth of other changes. It took a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours, but we're happy to finally have the basis for combat in your hands. You can currently grab the game about 30% off during the Steam Summer Sale, so if you've been waiting to buy, now's a great time to jump in, and you can read all the changes in the patch notes. So that's the trailer. I'm not going to go into the trailer and the combat stuff. I'm more interested in the state of development, as we'll get into. So, as you might expect, this post is going to be a bit of a shorter one, but we wanted to touch base and keep the community in the loop. To start, let's reflect on Update 17. Over its 5.5-month dev cycle, it took us a little less than 4 months to go from implementing combat to having it in your hands. That's very impressive. Despite the behavioral complexities, new tech, and all the UI core animations, the team pushed really hard to make sure that we could deliver something in the first half of 2026. While there are things we'd like to iron out and polish, we loved seeing your appreciation and surprise for how variable animal encounters can be. And I'm going to say, even though this is roughed around the edges, of course, polish and all that, the system is incredibly dynamic and all the people have been loving it, It's a really great system. The basis is amazing. It just really needs a little bit of fine tuning, but it's a really, really great system, and I'm very impressed what these guys have managed to do with combat. Like, I was originally skeptical, like, why would you even bother with combat? It's a zoo game, but a lot of people like to do their battle royales and create ecosystems, and that's a lot of the way people like to play these games. So I thought, fair enough, and they've really done it in a way that's genuinely impressed me. So I've got to, hats off. I think a lot of people are going to be really liking this. Gaming Beavers probably going to be very happy with the combat update. And, the battle royales and stuff like that. So, very, very cool. So, while there are things where like possible, obviously appreciated, this certainly proved troublesome during testing, but that's kind of the beauty of it. An animal making a silly, quote-unquote, choice To fight something is not guaranteed. It's an unpredictable simulation. Yeah, that's fine. Animals sometimes make bad judgment calls, just like people. So fair enough. Our goal is always to make something that feels fun and alive over something that's overly sanitized or perfect. I think that's a good way to go. I'd rather have a messy system that's a messy system that really tries than something that's polished and stuff and it's like it's like soulless. So I really like that. Our goal was always to make something that feels fun and alive. Okay, to cover that. The animals need to make their own choices and not have animations made for them. So basically, like how Jurassic World Evolution 3 does it in Planet Zoo. I wonder if they're going to do the hunting in Planet Zoo too. I wonder how they're going to improve that because there are ecosystems. I'm very curious to see. We might have to get into that later. That could be some fun speculation. The combat is clearly the main attraction for many players, of course. People love their dinosaur reals. There was a couple of other additions that might have snuck under your radar. As a big one for casual players, community members Sticky kindly lent us over 70 prefabs to expand the game's library of animal shelters and infrastructure. So it's quite cool. When adjusting their colours to fit our existing themes, one of our artists, Ida, also took the time to prepare themed prefabs for the staffed break rooms introduced in Update 17. So really, really cool. We're getting all these really cool little looks there. So you got that really beautiful picture of the Stegosaurus fighting the Allosaurus. Absolutely amazing with the scars too. You can see some of these prefabs, different, of course, buildings and stuff, got to do with different animals. I like the vibes of those ones. And then carry on. This is the break rooms and the little produce room. That looks amazing. I gotta say, I really love that little produce room. Looks like just a normal little greenhouse. Really, really cool. And this is the break room. That looks very rustic, Nordic. Very, very cool. Very much fits the vibe. And of course, we have to mention the rock rework. This update rocks, I gotta say. So the updated pieces strike a more balanced middle ground between the original Alpha rocks and their second iteration, aiming for strong silhouettes and more readable surfaces. The improved fidelity applies not only to our igneous rocks, but also the basalt and Stonehenge pieces as well. A number of new shapes and pebbles were also added to the core igneous rocks, or igneous set, and there's a lot more you can do with them. Players may have to make some changes to the existing parts of prefab due to the nature of early access, but we don't expect to touch these specific rocks ever again. So that's quite cool. So look at that, isn't that impressive? Look at the changes. It just looks a little bit more desaturated, looks a lot more natural. So you can see that's the old rocks and new rocks really really look good. I'm really a big fan of that. You can see kind of the nicer, it looks a little bit more realistic. And then you can see the Pachycephalosaurus on that little ledge there. That's like something straight out of, Lion King. Okay, incoming hotfix. With the main update out of the way, the team's currently working on a hotfix. So, see, they're always iterating. In addition to their usual stability improvements and bug fixes, this oncoming patch will correct the management tutorials and sneak in a couple of other changes. On the behavioural side of things, we're expanding familial defence by making babies actively try to stay behind their parents when threatened. Since the initial update launched with parents already standing between their babies and an aggressor, having the offspring respond should make this interaction feel a lot more natural. And there are also a couple too. So here's Mama Trike being a good mama, standing behind her when the baby, Rex is coming for a feed. Good mama. As a bonus, there'll also be new baby skins coming to the Wildberry Nasutoceratops and Habrunal Leelinosaura. While each animal typically has one baby skin, we occasionally design extras to make the transition from baby to adult more pleasing if a species has highly varied skins. So that's the mint and amber skin, but the new Wildberry skin, that fits a lot better. And this one is for Equinox and Ventral. This is the baby design, and that's the new one for the hibernal design. So very, very cool. We've also added a new panting behavior where the animals, when an animal stamina gets low from running or fighting, clearly indicating that they're out of breath and need a break. We'll be adding audio after the hotfix and in a follow-up patch. Let's have a look. yeah. Catch your breath there, mate. That's very, very cool. So, future improvements. So this is, just about the hot fixes and stuff like that. Just have a quick grab a drink. So future improvements. As we continue to develop combat, we will be working to reduce extreme cases where bodies clip inside each other. However, due to the nature of a dynamic combat, clipping is generally not something that can be avoided entirely. You just can't avoid it. It's the nature of the beast. In the case of intraspecific sauropod fights, trying to stop neck clipping is basically impossible. To help improve this specific instance, we would like to have a few partner animations beyond the current Bronto Smash, which you kind of see there. I love that we got a proper Bronto Smash. I'd really like to see one where they actually like neck up and like shove each other, like in that Brian Eng painting, but that'd be really cool. But anyway, we'd like to have a few partner animations that can play while fighting for the best results. So just a bit more variety, I think, would make that work. Very, very cool. Shortly, the team will also begin working on a new combat feature for large predators, prey grabbing. So this was originally seen way back in our 2017 demo. Oh my god, I remember playing that. That was a hell of a trip. I think I still have it. I think I can still download it and play it if I really want to. But I find that hilarious. And then I also remember the one before that. There was the demo before that where it was literally you hatched one animal and then it ran around, and then the other one, if you tried to hatch another Gallimimus. And this was back when they didn't have feathers on it. And it went back and it just, I just remember that was so funny. This behavior allows creatures like a T-Rex to pick up and swallow small animals while hunting them. Since then, we'd like to expand features by letting carnivores hold and occasionally shake prey before adultently digesting them. So that's kind of a little pickup and, or almost like, T-Rex and Jurassic Park with the dog toy. We'll show it off properly after implementation, but now you can check out the distinct pickup, shake, and swallow state animations below. So this is for small animals. See, it's grabbed it, shakes it like a doggy, and then, swallow it up. So that's for killing small animals and eating small animals. Very, very cool. And I'm going to say thank you, of course, thank you. As we close out this Dev Diary, we'd like to thank everyone who has supported us along the journey so far. It's been a long time coming, but we finally have ontogeny, breeding, and dynamic combat all together. With work soon beginning on Update 18, aiming for release Q4 2024 or 2026, and next year's full release on the horizon, we'll be polishing and improving gameplay clarity when possible to create the best experience where we can. This is working on controller support and enhancing aspects of the UI to better serve all players, no matter which input device they use. So you can see this is a very, very early version of controller usage below. So let's see, someone's using a controller. That's very interesting. Of course, if they want to bring it to consoles, this would be a great way to get people into it. Like, Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster came out for consoles. I'm sure Prehistoric Kingdom would like to come out for consoles if it can. It's been pretty popular, so I wouldn't put it past it. And speaking of full release, there are lots of exciting new animals currently in production that we cannot wait to show you once we're closer to launch. However, to celebrate Update 17, we would like to officially announce two new species coming to the 1.0 roster, the Longhorn bison and the Steppe bison. To tell them apart, the Longhorn bison, this is the one here, Bison latifrons. That is quite a bit larger. You can see in the size comparison, quite a bit larger. It was found only in North America, and in like the lower 48, I guess you'd say. And it was one of the largest bovids or largest ruminants known. Enormous animal and very huge horns like that. Very, very interesting animal. It actually evolved very quickly. A very interesting animal. And then you've also got so much larger overall and those large classic horns. Looks almost like something out of a movie. But then you've got the steppe bison. So this is steppe bison, Bison priscus. So that's the one that you'd find around the mammoth steppe. So this would go really well with your mammoths. of course. So they can be identified by their S-shaped horns and their slightly smaller size. Bison priscus will also have alternate colours and fur length inspired by both summer-winter coats and cave art, giving the managers even more choice when bringing these creatures to life. So I think that's really cool. So you can have like a winter skin and a summer skin. So that's the summer one. It looks quite lean in that regard. I'm sure the other one would get a little bit more fluffy. Oh, that's not the size comparison. So this is the male and female. Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. So that's the female. You can see it's definitely quite a bit larger. Bison latifrons. Well, technically it's boss latifrons. It's kind of annoying that they put that as bison, because the real taxonomy at the moment would be within boss. But I guess they just did it to be easier because it's a bison. It's a little bit recognizable. But boss latifrons. It's still B, so it works out well. But boss latifrons was much larger, much bigger animal. Lived in more kind of parkland, more southern habitats compared to priscus, which lived on the Mammoth Steppe. Yeah, both very cool. I'm really happy to see these guys. Very, very cool. I'm excited to see more mammals, because we got a lot of dinosaurs recently. And the team knows how much the community loves Cenozoic animals, so we're pleased to say the bison won't be the only two joining us in Update 1.0, so that'll be very interesting. Next up, this is by Francisco 192? Yeah, 192. So you can see there some Triceratops and Edmontosaurus on the herd of Pachycephalosaurus and a T-Rex watching. Very much like dinosaurs. That's what it reminds me of. What's this one here? That's amazing. I love that. It's a really nice enclosure. This actually came out really well. And this one's done by Mystery Dilo. Is it Dilo or Dryer? It's Dryer, yeah. A really nice enclosure for, Mr. Anax, Allosaurus anax, not Saurophaganax. And then we've got here by Arden. This one looks like a little Coelophysis one. A lot of deserts today. But that one came out really, really well. I could totally see if someone wanted to make that and put in a vivarium animal in there. But yeah, thank you for reading June's Dev Diary. We'll be back next month with more news in Update 18 and the future of Prehistoric Kingdom. Until then, we hope you enjoy Update 17 and look forward to reading more of your feedback. So yeah, really, really cool one. I'm actually just so happy that we're getting so much big stuff in the game. We've got the vivariums, which was a huge thing, breeding, growth ontogeny, and, combat. So that's the kind of the last real big thing. The next big things, I think, the next big things coming to Update 18 are going to be things like animal breakouts and new staff and stuff like that. So having the mechanics of that. So that's going to be very interesting. Obviously, some other stuff's going to be coming as well, but this game is really coming very close to completion. So I'm going to say I'm very excited to see that. So yeah, good job, PK team. You're doing amazing. Keep it up. And I can't wait to see this game fully released. It'll be the only game from the era. From this is nearly 10 years ago. I remember it came out 2017. So, and that's when Isle and Saurian came out. PK was in development a little bit before then. So that I remember, I think it was 2013 or something like that. I remember when, that was the first, it was originally Jurassic Genetics and then it was rebranded because obviously that's Universal and they don't want you doing that. So they did Prehistoric Kingdom, wanted to create their own game with accurate animals this time, and look what it's come to. And it's one of the very popular game now, so I'm very happy to see that it's succeeding quite well. So yeah, I really, really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, always remember to get a little bell icon to get notified about anything. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys like and subscribe, and